listening to the DeCesare Group Podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, Jim DeCesare, and I'm glad you're here. This week's guest is Julie Milam, Executive Vice President of Partnership Services at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce. Julie spent 17 years as General Manager of WNKY-TV and has now taken more than 2 decades of deep-rooted community involvement, small business advocacy, and visionary leadership to the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce. She talks about her journey from being a small business owner in Bowling Green with Pool and Spa Depot to her many connections with the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, including being the recipient of the prestigious Athena Award in 2021. Here's my conversation with Julie Milam. Julie, welcome to the DeCesare Group Podcast.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to be here.
I know. We're finally on the mic together.
I've waited years for this opportunity.
Likewise.
What a dream come true.
Oh, you're so full of it.
I'm not. I mean it.
I know. Well, it's great to have you here. Of course, you've got a new role at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce. Tell us about this new adventure for you.
It is definitely a new adventure, and I am so excited. I am proud to be the Executive Vice President of Partnership Services at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce. I have had a long history there as a volunteer and a partner, so it's great to be on the other side.
Yeah, so tell us about what your role entails. I mean, you're obviously meeting with chamber members like me and others.
Yes, thank you for your partnership. We
welcome.
are, yes. I think the majority of what my role is and the team that I work alongside every day is really to champion our business community, both large and small, and feel ways that we can give back to each of the partners and grow the businesses that are not yet partners. But it's definitely a partnership. It's not like I'm joining a gym as a member and I'm using what's there. We're actually saying if you invest in us, we will then go to work for you to connect you with the people that will help you grow.
And, I've been a part of this chamber for 30-something years now. I was actually on the first committee when we created the Small Business Golf Tournament, which is now the Chamber Golf Challenge. And, it is small business is the backbone of any community.
Yes, it is.
And especially our community.
Absolutely. We have about 1,300 partners in our chamber made up primarily of our small businesses. I also joined in 2004 as a small business partner of our chamber. I knew it was vital to do. I brought a business here from Nashville and I didn't know a soul. So I went to the chamber and joined and said, how can I meet other small business owners? So I joined the Small Business Appreciation Committee that put on that golf tournament, just like you, and began to get connected to other business owners and leaders in the community that had the missions, goals, and we wanted to grow this community together.
And you came here with Pool and Spa Depot, right?
Yes, 2004.
So do you have a pool at your house?
I do. As a matter of fact.
So, this is a new role for you. And, of course, you spent, I think, the last 17 years as general manager of WNKY.
Yes.
Why the change? Talk about that transition and going from the grind of a news station to, a more day-to-day, normal role, a normal job. Because broadcasting is brutal for those that don't know.
It is. And you use the word grind, and I would say that is a very accurate word because everyone that is familiar with what news content is or weather content, it is a 24-hour-a-day grind. It changes moment by moment. You can see it on social media. You can see it with all of our broadcast media. And it is something that when you lead a broadcast organization, you do have to stay up basically 24 hours trying to make sure that we have all of the information, accurate information, and we're communicating that with our public. So 18 years, almost 18 years was a lot on my body, on my family, but I loved every minute of it. I miss it. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely miss the team there and the ways that we were able to be public servants because at the end of the day, that's what a broadcaster is. You're a public servant. Mm-hmm. I'm excited now, though, that I still get to be a public servant with a nonprofit like the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're still lifting up small business. We're still supporting our nonprofits, and we are still champions for the community. I feel like that was the job that I was able to do at WNKY with that amazing team, and I'm still able to do that today with the Chamber.
Broadcasting, obviously I have this podcast now which helps fill that void, but radio was always my true love.
Right.
But, it's you reach a point in your career where you really can't go any further, and so you start looking at other things. And I had a great 20-year radio career, and the last 20 years I've been doing something different.
Right.
Has it been 20? Oh my God!
I met you when you were in radio. That's how far back we go. I love it.
And but it's always there's always a passion there for it, and I get that because broadcasters are a different breed. And when you're running a station, of course, I was over operations as well. I wasn't the general manager, but you also not only did you have to make sure that you were getting good product on the air, but you also have to sell that product.
That's right.
And so there's more to it than just the newscast. You also have to have advertisers and sponsorships and all that fun
and events.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And what most people don't realize is that radio and TV, you're required by law to provide a public service.
That's right.
And so that's why this podcast airs on WGGC, because we're providing a service for their public affairs program. So,
and it's necessary. That is why there is a need for broadcast, so that we can educate, inform, and then entertain. Mm-hmm. It's not entertainment first. It's education and information first.
And you took it a step farther, being a part of the Kentucky Broadcasters Association. Yes. You were on the board.
I was board chair last year.
Board chair, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, and I went to the meeting, to the dinner 2 years ago when my good friend Gene Burke got inducted into the hall.
Loved having you and Amy there that night.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame was something that we definitely needed to honor Gene. We honored Chris Allen this past year. So we always want to give back to the broadcasters just like you that have given so much of their life to our community through the airwaves.
And I'm gonna give a shout out to two other people, Billy Evans,
yes,
who is
most
owner
definitely.
of WGGC.
Yes.
And also the Hoover family.
We honored the Hoover family this past year as well. Yes.
So Jeff is a longtime friend of mine as well, and his family are pioneers in the radio industry in Jamestown, Kentucky.
Yes, so we love to honor them.
So and being in the chamber, being in the news business, all that is all about community, and you kind of coined the phrase "because local matters." Talk about why local matters.
Well, I would love to, because when I came into television. Well, let me back up. When I came to Bowling Green in 2004 and opened Pool and Spa Depot, we were a Nashville-based business. So we come to Bowling Green because we had a lot of business coming to us in Tennessee from Bowling Green and Glasgow. We thought, there seems to be so much demand. Why don't we bring a franchise to Bowling Green? Fantastic idea. The business is still there today. My old store manager is still there today doing fantastic things. But we cared about this community and we needed to prove it. So people would say, why did you bring your business to Bowling Green? Because we feel like Bowling Green matters. Okay, so that was justifying why we would move a small business here. Huge risk. When we got to the television station, when I became an employee there in 2008, we didn't have local news. And people kept saying, why are you working in broadcast? Broadcasters are supposed to have news. It's like, well, we're still here to serve the community. You want to know why? Because local matters to us.
Yeah.
And so I decided that if I brought my own business here because this community mattered, and then working in television and not having a news outlet at that time, we were there because we were the community's TV station. Local mattered to us, but we couldn't say it. We had to live it. We had to show it. We had to prove it. And I am proud to say that every single person that has come in or out of our television station over the past 18 years understands that everything we do is because local matters, and they all feel it and live it as well.
Yeah, and I of course I go back to when I moved here in '92. I guess it was in '93. I had a short stint at WNKY.
You sure did.
And it was small and it was ragtag.
It was.
And
bare bones.
And for a long time there was no news. And so you brought news to WNKY, and now
in October of 2015 we launched our Sunrise show. So imagine a girl who's not from Kentucky, has no broadcast background, but really tried to get involved with the community through the chamber and through volunteering with a lot of nonprofits, but just trying to understand the community, where the needs are and how I can help meet those needs. Mm-hmm. When I was tasked with the opportunity to build a news, that was frightening.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to build a rundown. I didn't know how to format a show. I didn't know how to time out every single segment of a news broadcast. How many commercial breaks do we want to include? How much revenue do we want to make off of that? That was a huge growth opportunity for me as an individual to show how we can give back and to make it work. So I'm excited that we launched our first local news in 2015. I'm excited to see how much it's grown, and I'm thrilled to continue to watch them grow now from outside the building.
Yeah, and I know you'll still keep a relationship with them and
Absolutely.
all of our media partners. So let's talk about your history at the chamber. When we were talking on the phone the other day, you said something to me that resonated, that you're a very unique person for the role that you're in because of all the different things that you've been involved with the chamber. And, you've been a chamber ambassador, a board member, board chair, Athena Award winner.
Yes.
I mean, I know I'm leaving stuff
Leadership
out.
Bowling Green.
Yeah.
22-year partner. I've been a part of the Small Business Appreciation Committee, the golf subcommittee. I tried to do every single thing that the chamber had to offer to make me a better resident and citizen of South Central Kentucky. There's so many leadership opportunities, but there's so many educational opportunities as well. There's Chamber 101 for people who don't even know what a chamber is supposed to be.
Right.
There are lots of opportunities. You can be in the Bowling Green Young Professionals and not be a chamber partner. Your company does not have to be a chamber partner.
I could be in the Young Professional.
Well, you and I phased out. Sorry, Jim, we missed it. You know what? That is the only thing at the chamber that I never participated in.
Well, I didn't either because it wasn't around.
I might have been able to do it, but I don't know that it was ever on my radar.
Yeah.
But I can tell you my daughter's in it today, and that makes me proud.
Yeah, and we've actually had them on the podcast
Yes.
before, but that group is huge.
We had over 100 people yesterday.
Yeah, that event y'all had with Judge Gorman and stuff, and yeah, I saw the pictures and it was like, wow,
Yes.
there's a lot of folks there.
But it shows you there are a lot of young people in our community that want to lead. They want to learn because they want to lead. And that's what we need, is to continue to generate the next generation of leaders in our community. This community is growing really, really fast. And a lot of people like me are moving here from somewhere else. They have no loyalty to any business, any brand. They just want to know how they can get engaged and make a difference.
You bring up a great point. I know you were involved with BG 2050
Absolutely.
initiative last year, and, we're going to have crazy growth. I mean, we've had crazy growth over the last 30 years, and it's just going to get crazier. Talk about the blue plates we see in town all the time, and those people are moving up from Tennessee because we just, quality of life, cost of living, all those things, and plus we have a great community and lots of things to offer. How is that going to impact your role? I mean, you're probably going to have to get a staff to start helping you out.
We will absolutely need more support, because I think that the main priority of the chamber is to support this community through growing local business, but really making regional impact and helping all of us through the growth process. And I think that I had wanted to be the community's TV station at WNKY. I feel like our team did a really good job at that. The chamber is really kind of the heartbeat of the community. We work with everybody. Government relations, legislative, every single entity that you can think of, educators. Look at what we do with SCK Launch Experience for 8th graders who don't yet have a clue of what they...
You have a little of your DNA on that too,
I do. Can you tell I love the chamber? I think when you and I spoke on the phone the other day, I said I'm a little bit like a unicorn, because to my knowledge, I'm the only chamber employee that has been a partner, been an ambassador, been through Leadership Bowling Green, and Athena, all the things that you listed. So what I think I bring, or what I hope to bring to this new role, is my experience and my testimonial of what the chamber does for businesses, what the chamber does for individuals in this community who simply want to stand up and give back. Yeah. And you have done that. Your family is continuing to do that with you. I love to see that. But we're all champions of South Central Kentucky. We know the growth is coming. We are going to double in population, but we've done that before. And look how far we've come because of that. We continue to thrive on what makes people love it here, and we want to share it with everybody. And that's my primary role.
Yeah, we have doubled population, but it's taken 30 years. Now we're going to do it in 15.
Yes.
So,
how exciting is that?
It is. It's super exciting. And, one of my favorite things, and I still call it the chamber breakfast, but I know
it's the Rise and Shine.
Rise and Shine breakfast. Is whenever they show the slides of all the new members and then the milestone members, because we have some members of the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce that are 60-year members.
A lot of them.
There's a lot. This chamber has a long legacy of being a part of this community.
And the businesses feel the value from being a partner of the chamber. They give back, but they see that we are investing in their businesses every single day. On a retention call, our job is to reach out and see how their business is going. What are your goals for the remainder of this year? And how can we connect you with more people to make your impact greater in this community? That is what retention looks like, and that's why you have 50, 60 plus year partners.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And you got to keep up with
It's
all
a
of
free
them.
workforce. Yes, I only have to contact 1,300 people a year, Jim. That's only 8 people a week.
So with your role, of course, having your background as a chamber member and volunteer, so when you're talking to potential new partners, you do have this testimonial to tell.
I do, and I feel that I also brought that to WNKY because as a former small business owner, I understand the risks involved in small business ownership. I understand what it's like to have a staff under 10 people where you can't get out of your business very often to attend a Rise and Shine or an after hours or a Let's Do Lunch. I understand those struggles and those challenges, but I also understand how much I appreciated when people from our chamber wanted to help me grow my business, and that is the value right there, is to have a workforce of people who are championing you every single day.
So, and that's what it's all about. I mean, having that support system within the community, especially, I love it when I go to a chamber event and I see two business owners talking that might not have anything, but it's a great opportunity to get, B2B opportunities and,
That's right.
Potential new customers, you could provide a service for them and that. And that's a big part of it. I can tell you that the DeCesare Group has thrived in part because of our membership, because we know people and we go to these events and like, hey, I need to talk to you about this, that, or the other. I'm like, all right, I'll holler at you.
That's right. And when I try to break everything down that we do, the one thing that I can say to you as a business owner is, Jim, what audience do we have access to at the chamber that we could include your brand, your logo, your voice to grow your impact exponentially in this community? It's nothing that we are doing for you. It is what we're connecting you to. We are conveners. We're providing the audience for you that works with the initiatives you have in mind to take you to the next level of growth.
So in your new role, do you also work on for example, we sponsored the party, the golf party last year, connecting the partners with opportunities like that, because that was a great event for us. We loved it.
We'd love to have you back.
I know. And then we sponsored a sports day luncheon a couple years ago. I mean, those are kind of the things that we like to do. And, we're not Houchins Industries, but we do have some. But
you're the DeCesare Group.
Yeah, we're the DeCesare Group, but we don't have the income that so. And
the budgets might be different.
Where I'm heading with this is that regardless of the size of your business, there's always an opportunity, even if it's a small investment, to get big value.
It's access.
Yeah.
It's who do I know that can help you? And that's all that it's about. We have 1,300 partners. Who do I know that can help you? Do you have an initiative that you're trying to launch and you'd really love to pick the brain of somebody in this other industry? Jim, let me set up a lunch.
Yeah.
And let's all three sit down together.
Yeah.
Let us share and brainstorm on how we can make your initiative the most successful it could ever be.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's just connecting dots. It is so natural and so easy, and I absolutely love it.
So with the growth that's happening, are you seeing? And of course, I mentioned I see the slides, but it just seems like you're at 1,300 members now. Where do you expect to see this growth in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I know you're a planner, so you're thinking about these things.
Yes. I mean, I think that any business owner, any leader in a business that is thriving and growing needs to have a 10-year plan, needs to have a 3-year plan, needs to have a 1-year plan. I may be new to the staff side of the chamber, but I have watched our chamber grow over the past 22 years. I've watched us go from one building that was very small to a fantastic building that we are able to be in today on College Street, still continuing to serve the community. We are trying to, right now, the building was built 19, almost 20 years ago. We're doing a little remodeling and updating, but we're having to make room now for more staff. which is such a great problem
Yeah.
because our outreach continues to grow. I see the partnership numbers continuing to grow, the President's Club partners continuing to grow. BGYP is a perfect example of that. To have over 200 members in our BGYP program and over 100 coming to just one singular event every time we do this, there's a demand for connection, and that's what we're intending to continue to give. As the community grows, I'll take every partner that wants help. We're here to work for you.
So talk about the types of memberships, because you mentioned the President's Club and then there's chamber partners, and those are two different things.
They are two different things.
So
and
talk about a partnership membership and how that works for someone who might be listening that's not a member.
Right. So there are multi-levels to chamber partnerships depending on really what benefits you're looking to get out of that partnership. In my previous business, because we had such a small staff and I had to be in the office most all day, I joined at one of the lower levels of partnership. I wanted to be a partner. I wanted the benefits, but I didn't need a lot of the top tier benefits that our chamber partners can access with a higher level. President's Club also is an investment into our economic development. So that's really where your President's Club partners come in. We were President's Club partners at WNKY and chamber partners. And so we cared about the growth of the community. Economic development was important to us. We always wanted to continue to share stories of growth. So that economic development piece of being a President's Club partner, that was our investment back into the community so we could continue to grow large and small businesses, but primarily a lot of the larger businesses.
And I'm going to put my economic development hat on for a second, because it takes work to recruit industries to the area. And the great thing about our chamber is we collaborate with other communities on economic development. And in fact, we just recently had a lunch with the Cabinet for Economic Development between Logan, Simpson, Warren, and Allen counties. And, we went up there together and had lunch and show appreciation for the Cabinet for Economic Development. But when you're recruiting industries, it's not just waiting for the phone to ring. Sometimes you got to go out and make those connections with site selectors, and you have to go to the site selection conferences and the economic development conferences and build those relationships, because we're along the I-65 corridor, so we're in a sweet spot.
We are.
But at the same time, you have to have a place for them to go, and that stuff has to be researched, due diligence, and so that's where a President's Club membership comes into play. When you have companies investing that know that if we're growing our business and industries here, it's going to, all those ships are going to rise together, and that's why it's important to have that President's Club piece on the economic development side.
It's vital. And I do believe that our community here is very unique, because I'm a Nashville native, so I'm used to a lot different leadership. When I came to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and saw how well our city and our county worked together, and how well our city and our county and our educators and our chamber work well together, everyone supports everyone, but it's not just Bowling Green. It is our region. It is this I-65 corridor that we want to help other chambers, other communities grow, because we all have something to offer, and we're doing it together as a team. So to me, that is the beauty of economic development. If we don't have exactly what this company is looking for, we are going to go to our partners.
And don't forget your state and national delegation as well.
Well, they're outstanding.
And of course, in my time in the legislature, of course, we heard it often, when Jody and I were up there, and Michael Meredith, all of us, Mike Wilson, people always go, what are y'all doing down there? Other communities don't always get along.
They don't.
And, so, we might have political policy differences, but when it came to Bowling Green, South Central Kentucky, we were all on the same page.
Well, and everyone can find somewhere that they connect and they agree and say, let's focus on this initiative, and this initiative we can bring to life. You brought up Bowling Green 2050 a little while ago. So we brought that out in 2025. We are doing a 25-year look ahead, knowing that the growth will be here well beyond 25 years from now. But I do believe that the leadership in our Commonwealth, the leadership in our region, the leadership in our city has always been so forward thinking And a lot of it is the access to I-65 that makes the appeal so great. We have a lot of land. And 165, correct. But we do have a lot of benefits with infrastructure. We do have a lot of connections with all of our utility companies, and we have great relationships there. But I think that we've always been forward thinking on what the opportunities are and the possibilities are, which is how we've gotten where we are today. Mm-hmm. But we know that that's going to continue to grow exponentially, and we're ready for it. We're planning for it. We have the right people at the table doing the work, and we're happy to be here.
Well, and you've kind of answered all my questions I had. So, if you're not a member of the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce,
contact Julie Milam.
Contact Julie. We'll put a link to the chamber in our show notes.
Thank you.
So let's have a little fun.
Let's do it.
Because you're from Nashville.
Yes.
And, I've known you for a while now, and I know some of your history. I love hearing this story about your connection to Johnny Cash.
Yes. My heart and soul.
Tell us real quick about your relationship with the man in black.
Oh,
hello.
My John. That's what I called him, was my John. So,
of course, he was married in Franklin.
He was married in Franklin. Yeah. I've been there and I've seen it. Yes. Yeah. So I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I was put up for adoption, lived in foster care, and was fortunate enough to be adopted by a family that lived in Hendersonville, Tennessee. They lived across the street from Johnny Cash. Johnny's parents lived there. Roy Orbison was on the corner. Roy's parents lived next door to the Cash family. And when my mom and dad went to adopt me legally, they needed someone to be the godparents and to come to court with them. And ironically, I was born on March 13th, which was the birthday of Johnny's mom. And she said, this little girl was born on my birthday. I need to be her godmother. So Johnny's mom and dad were my legal godparents. And I grew up jumping on the trampoline with John Carter. We would be at Roy Orbison's house, just playing outside in the yard. I didn't know any of these people were famous. Yeah. They were my neighbors, just like your neighbors next door.
And they were way famous when you were a kid.
They were way famous. We always had tour buses, like going by our houses. And I couldn't understand, like, why are they driving so slow? We're just like trying to get into the guard shack to steal candy out in front of John's house, jumping off the cliffs at Cash's Cliffs. But all of their children were just our playmates. But I did have a birthday party at the Cash Museum. I did get to hang out in the house a lot. I knew where the cookie jar was. Yeah. I took those things for granted because my family never really told me how famous they were. The one thing I'll tell you, Jim, that I noticed, and I asked my parents once, was why do we not have gold and platinum records on our walls? Because every one of those houses did. That was the only thing I thought we were missing, were the records. So then, thankfully, my first job was in a record store when I was 16 because the only thing I knew how to talk about was music. Yeah. And that was the place that I found I had a voice that people wanted to listen to. And then from there, I worked for Warner Brothers Records, Elektra Records, Atlantic Records, and Mercury Records. And I have my own gold and platinum plaques on my wall now, thanks to my John.
So I might have run across you in my radio days.
You might
there
have.
As a record
radio promoter. Yeah, I did radio promotion. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Those days were great. Anything I left out that I didn't ask about?
I am just so grateful to be here with you and to be a part of this podcast that does spotlight those of us that are so passionate about the individuals that live in South Central Kentucky. And we want to continue to be a champion and a cheerleader for everyone that's here. But we also want to offer that to everyone that just stops in to see what we're about and to tell them that this is the place to be because local matters.
Yeah, it does. Julie Milam, thanks for being on the DeCesare Group Podcast.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be here.
Thanks again to Julie Milam, Executive Vice President of Partnership Services at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, for joining us this week on the DeCesare Group Podcast, and thank you for checking us out, too. Hey, if you like what you hear, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a review and share your feedback, too. You can also follow the DeCesare Group across all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter, SoKy Economic Development and Business News, by going to our website, thedecesaregroup.com. The DeCesare Group Podcast is produced by the DeCesare Group, a public relations and consulting firm based in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Our engineer and future chamber ambassador is Justin DeCesare, with content contributions from Brooke Mattingly. The DeCesare Group Podcast is researched by Amy DeCesare. I'm Jim DeCesare, inviting you to join us again next time for the DeCesare Group Podcast.